for joining us. This is Paul Wilson, and you're listening to Diesel Performance Podcast. Of course, we're here at UCC 2021 watching the dyno competition here on day two. It's been quite impressive and little to no carnage. I do sound surprised by that because I am surprised. Jesse Warren, I know, struggling through those trans issues. Want to make sure that we see him get it all fixed, get it put together, and come out and put down some points on the sled pull track tomorrow. We've had a few other competitors. Brian Shue came up, put up a 1293 for horsepower, 2169 for torque. I don't know if that's enough to move him up in the standings. We'll have to take a look back at where his drag racing times and points were. I do have some overall current point standings that I thought we would run through. First place, Chris Buheider, Truck Source Diesel, score total of 1636. Now, for each one of these events, they get a score, and it's all calculated through really smart people and numbers, so we can trust it, at least enough. Turbo Tom sitting in second place, Justin Andres in third, Tony Burkhardt still in fourth, Wade Minter in fifth, Kenny Bruner in sixth, David Petrick in seventh place, Ryan Batts has moved up to eighth from yesterday. Brian Shue currently sitting in ninth, so that did help him out overall. Chase Miller sitting in 10th place, and Justin Ziegler and the rest of the crew have not finished their dyno portion yet. As we wrap up today, we got a few more competitors to get on the dyno. We're going to get all these numbers together and see who's going to come out on top of the UCC 2021 Day 2 dyno competition. Look out, listeners. T-Pain's on the rollers, hearing some big numbers getting thrown around. 2,400 horsepower, 3,000 foot-pounds of torque. Once get these numbers updated, we'll get some exacts for you. That was his first run. I already see the wheels spinning again. I can't believe it, but it sounds like he's going to go for more than that. More power to him. Can't wait to see what this Cummins can put down on the dyno. All right, Trevor Peterson in T-Pain, his first run exactly netted him 2264, 3203.1, giving him the second best combined number so far of the day. Like I said, I saw the wheels turning. I have a sneaking suspicion these guys might actually go for more. All right, Trevor Peterson and T-Pain backing off of the rollers. He had told us he was going to come in if he hit a number and he was happy. He was going to get off. I saw him spinning the tires like they were going to roll it again. Turns out he has decided not to. More than happy. He's got to be excited about that number. I was looking through his passes for yesterday. Man, the guy hit the track 6 different times. So he's out here to race. He's out here to compete. Don't let that nice guy routine fool you there. So took 6 passes at the track yesterday, ran a 6.6 all the way up to an 8.3 at different times throughout the day. So now that he has this massive horsepower and torque number, he is just looking to get back into the pits, add some weight to this little truck, and get it ready for the sled pulls for tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. This is Paul Wilson with Diesel Performance Podcast. Guys, we are here for Dyno Day. I believe this is part 3 we're kicking off right now. We've seen quite a few competitors on the track, seen Trevor Peterson make some big numbers, and now we have Josh McCormick coming up. Now, Josh McCormick had a rough time at the track yesterday. First pass was an 11.378. Second pass was a 6.56. It's a fast time, but slower for the pack of competitors that we have here at UCC. So that already had him down towards the bottom. We know that he had some problems, oiled down the track. Sounded like we had a full engine failure. It's just what it boils down to. I did a little digging around in the pits to find out a little bit of the backstory. Found out literally had somebody just say, okay, here's a spare engine. Spent the entire night thrashing on the truck, so we're real excited to see what he's going to put together here for UCC Dyno Day, Day 2. All right, he's on the rollers. All right, a bit of a pass here, but guys, I don't think that's going to be the pass that he's looking for. We'll check back in a moment and let you know what that came up with and what he is going to do about it. Yeah, the numbers are official. I got a 522 for torque and 257 horsepower. Now, I know this truck is well built. I know these guys are doing a damn good job out here. Sometimes there are just things you cannot overcome. So I know that wasn't the pass he was looking for, but this truck is going to be getting off of the dyno and moving on to the next one. Stick around, guys. We got John Shirato, super nice guy, badass truck. He's coming up on the rollers next. John Shirato in the Granby truck is definitely not new to diesel performance, not new to competition. He has put down as good as a 570 in this truck before UCC, has made 1,700 horsepower, 2,400 foot-pounds of torque with this second-gen 7-liter Cummins with a 13-millimeter P-pump on it. Guys, I know all you Cummins fans are going crazy for this truck. Let's see what he can put down on the rollers here for his first pass at UCC Day 2. He lights him up. All right, that's a good number. 1671 for horsepower, 2,083 for torque. That should move him a little bit in the standings. It's been pretty crazy throughout the day. We'll have to see exactly where he's going to fall and if he is going to decide to go after another pass or if he's going to unstrap it and try to save the truck for the sled pulls tomorrow. All right, guys, John Shirato, as I said, no newbie to competition here. Came up on his first run, 1671, as I had mentioned, 2083 on the torque. Decided, not enough. Gives it a second pass, comes up, 1770.8, 2147 on the torque. That's enough for 600 points for this portion of the competition. Hey, he thought he had a little bit more in it, gave it one last blast, came out at a 1664, 2026. No big deal, though. They're going to take his best number for the competition. So as John Shirato and the Granby truck is off, we're going to have a new competitor rolling up on the dyno, getting ready to wrap up our day here at UCC 2021. Evan Moser's next up on the dyno. Evan's had a pretty good weekend, pretty solid start. I know he was battling a couple of issues, trying to get the best times he possibly could out of the truck. Looks like he ended happy yesterday. He's rolling up on the dyno today. We're going to see what he can put together with this third-gen Dodge. D&J performance, Cummins engine, of course, compounds, 212 mil pumps, DDP injectors. Evans definitely got all of the parts that he needs to be a UCC competitor. Evan Moser got to be happy about that run. 2202 on the horsepower, 2800 on the torque. I think he's calling it. I think he's going to go one and done. He's happy with the number. It was a monster number. I'd be happy too. Remember, these guys got to keep these trucks together. They got to go out and play in the dirt tomorrow, and that sled is one unforgiving bitch. Hold on to your seats, folks. Justin Ziegler's up on the dyno now. We talked to Justin. I really feel horrible we lost that interview, but in that lost interview, I was able to ask him some of the accusations flying around. People saying that Firepunk built his truck for him. Not true. Let me just head that off right at the pass right here. Justin and his team worked hard on this truck, worked hard to be able to be here at UCC, put down some killer times on the track, was in second place coming into this morning. Now, he has a later number in the order, so all day long we've been watching. Everybody who gets on the dyno bumps up above Justin. Well, guess what? He just put down his first pass on the dyno, 2,400 horsepower, 3,200 foot-pounds of torque. We are about to see if he is going to make another run. I don't think so. That's it. I'm watching him unstrap right now. One and done. That's the way to do it, Justin. Great job to you and your team. We are excited to see him out at the sled pulls tomorrow. This is certainly going to shake up the order and put him in a good position to be in that top 3 spot for the overall at UCC 2021. All right, guys. Eric Merchant up on the dyno. He has struggled throughout the competition, but when we talked to Eric, he wasn't necessarily worried about coming here and trying to be in the top 3 or worried hearing exactly where he was going to place or what number he was going to make on the dyno. He wanted to come here and have fun. And if I know Eric Merchant at all, I guarantee Eric has had some fun throughout the weekend. However, we did just catch his dyno run. Man, it had some some scary sounding noises, some hopping, some popping, some knocking. He's going to end up with about 1,200 horsepower, 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. He's going to take that as his dyno. He still has to sled pull tomorrow. So he is unstrapped, rolling off the dyno now, and we are going to get another competitor loaded up right away. With 2 competitors left for day 2 of UCC 2021 on the dyno, we have some updates for this current standings. Now, this is just for the dyno. This isn't for the overall result. Right now, Justin Ziegler, best dyno numbers. Justin Anders, second place. Trevor Peterson, third. Chris Buheider, fourth. Evan Moser, fifth. Turbo Tom, sixth. Wade Minter, seventh. David Petrick, eighth. Kenny Bruner, ninth. Tony Burkhart, a surprising 10th on the dyno. I think he really was having a strategy to be here for all 3 days and want to put that together. John Shirato came in 11th on the dyno. Ryan Batts was 12th. Next is Brian Shue, and then Eric Merchant's run that we just saw. Chase Miller, a little bit behind there, and Josh McCormick struggling with some issues with the truck. Jesse Warren was on the dyno and strapped down, but with trans issues, didn't register any horsepower or torque, and we have just Charlie Fish and Todd Welch left. Well, folks, the Power Stroke rolled up on the dyno trying to make some power. Charlie Fish in the KC Turbo truck making 3 full passes on the dyno, which was aggressive. We're just going to say really, really aggressive. Came up with his first run, 1536 and 2,400 foot-pounds of torque. Decided, no, I'm going to give it another go. Stepped it way up to 1760, 2365 on the torque. And decided, nah, this thing's got one more run in it. And glad he did it because that gave him 1,820 horsepower with 2,433 foot-pounds of torque. That's enough to push that Power Stroke up into the 10th overall position for UCC 2021. Todd Welch and the power-driven diesel crew got the dinosaur up on the dyno. We're going to see if this thing has enough in it to break. I'm hearing rumors. People are talking about that crazy 3,000 to the wheel number. I don't know, guys. I got to say, Justin Ziegler currently top of the dyno pile, and he's got 2443. That's a nasty truck. Now, power-driven diesel, Todd Welch, and the whole crew, they've been to, well, I'm pretty sure every single UCC. I think most of us remember him from back in the day. Being out at the sled pulls with the big old floating dualies in the back and hauling that trailer all the way through, almost smashing a tree at the end of it. Here he is today, putting it down on the dyno. He struggled a little bit throughout the drag racing, but he's still got a good time in the low sixes. You got to be happy about that with that truck. Here he is on the dyno. We're going to see if he can get a pass together and put down a record-setting run. Todd Welch, tragedy striking, hosing it down right now, guys. We saw a huge plume of smoke coming out of the stack, wound up, giving it all she's got. It has blown up. The power-driven diesel truck, absolute explosion coming out of the hood. Todd Welch out of the truck, safe, already cheering to the crowd. More power to you, man. That was a hell of a show, hell of a run.